And I'm okay criticizing it because they don't pay me nothing.
Hey, look at the score of the GWS game right now.
Ooh, ooh, GWS actually looking good. Tremendous dub for now.
Again, first
So
quarter.
the
That's not. That's not.
let me
That's
get
not.
excited about Donnie. I haven't been this excited since they were winning in the first half against Sydney. All right, let me have my moment. Oh, look at you, boys. Look at you.
That's out on the full. He went for it. Just couldn't pull it down. Whoops.
Okay, it's a pretty good crowd. It looks like tonight or today.
You got to remember they lost like 10,000 seats because of the reno. So,
Yeah.
but even still, you'd think it'd still be a pretty hot ticket considering you've got two top eight sides, two
Oh, I would
in the
have to
finals
make it to this
currently
game.
sides.
Well, I guess if I actually had the ability to go to the game, I'd probably be going to the GWS one. But I don't have the ability to go to a game.
That was a nice mark by the Connie.
Ooh, yeah, it was. Oh, look at that, Donnie. The Sharks end their season with a fat L, 3-0 to the Kraken.
Hmm?
Beautiful way to
Save
end it. Poetic.
Saber sent RJ out with an overtime winner, so that was pretty awesome.
Oh, that's badass. Good
Yep.
for you guys.
51 years calling hockey games, and he gets to go out with one of the iconic calls of the Sabres winning in overtime. So,
Probably deserves that. Good for him. Good for him.
well, there's the funny thing about it is seeing how many tweets of people is like, oh my god, this is the first time in like 8 years I'm not super happy the season's over. It's funny. Like I would, and then several of them are like, I wish there were more games. So it was just not something you would have seen anybody in Sabres
No,
Nation
I don't know the last
tweet.
time I heard that from from Buffalo.
So, ooh, risky.
Ooh, that is a bit
It
of a
worked, but
backhand
it was
right there.
risky.
Damn. Sorry, my commentary is going to come from two games from now on. Gonna have to guess which one I'm talking about because I can only put the scoreboard for one of them. I feel like there's a better way for me to set this up, but I got this working right now and I don't feel like messing with it ever.
Nice
So,
mark.
oh, good mark.
It's down the sideline. Nope, not going to use it. Not another one. Another one. Nope, too early. It's not there. It worked. It was ugly, but it worked.
Wow. Look at him.
Just stayed in. It's crazy seeing that camera angle because I forgot. I always forget how skinny Cardinia Park is. GMHBA is one of the skinniest grounds in the entire competition.
Oh, is it? By like a clear margin then, huh?
Oh yeah, very
What's the
obvious. If
widest? Is it the MCG?
the widest is the MCG and Optus are both are the same Actually, no, I think Sydney might be the widest. It's just the shortest length.
Mm. That's still so funny to me how there's different size fields anywhere you go.
You kind of don't mind it though. Like I think it's the one thing that in some
It's almost
professional
like
sports
the MLB
annoys
feeling,
me
how each ballpark is a little different with the.
because it does breed a home advantage because you know what your dimensions are. You know the way like
Hmm.
it's like the only difference that you see in the NHL nowadays is everything is standardized when it comes to the length and everything, but it's the boards, like how lively are the boards. Like some rinks the boards are more livelier than others.
Oh,
So you
like
got to
with the
kind of get
lights and stuff like that.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's like I kind of like that because it does
Bring it
breed.
up.
It's I think see this is one of those. It goes off the goal umpire, but I think it probably would have hit the post. So that's probably going to be a
Yeah.
behind, unless they say it only hit his back leg. But I don't think so. I think it hits his front
That
leg,
hits
which
the
is front
front.
leg. Well, they basically what they try to do is simulate if he wasn't there, what would it would be, and it would have hit the
That's hitting the
post.
post.
It's a behind.
Yeah. That's a fairly easy call right there.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
Adelaide finally
With a
kicked
goal
one.
umpire.
That's a shame.
Yeah, especially considering it's he's less than 2 meters away from the goal line. All he's got to do is lightly touch it, push it through, and you almost get into a little bit of a rush, and it goes off the inside of the boot and ricochets towards the goal umpire.
If GWS could kick straight to start this game, they'd be winning by a lot more right now. They're kicking 3 and 4.
No, it's the same thing with Fremantle right now. Fremantle
Yep.
could kick straight. This game would be much different. Good little touch kick.
Luckily for the Giants, they're not playing Geelong right now.
I mean, if you look at it, Fremantle's had 7 shots on goal. Geelong's had 5. The difference is that Frio's got 4 behinds. Geelong only has 1. If you take three of those behinds and make them to goals, Fremantle's in the lead. Nope,
Damn, not even close.
it was short. Good tackle.
All right, come on, Toby.
That'll be thrown in.
Come on, come on, kid. Come on. There we go. There we go. What a beaut. He's back. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. The best player to ever grace a footy field is back, and he's better than ever. Let's go.
Again, be very careful with Australians about throwing that moniker out there.
Oh, I know. I'm playing with fire when I say that, but it's kind of fun.
No, but you're also talking to somebody that I hate. I hate that argument because I believe it's so subjective to when you watch the sport
Oh, yep.
to how you do it because
The era.
it's well it's as I've said with any sport, it's the sports will always change with the times. So the greatest ever of all time argument is one of the dumbest, in my personal opinion, it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life because you can't quantify it
Nope.
because nobody can tell me what LeBron James would have done in the 90s or what Michael Jordan would have done in the 70s and the 80s and vice versa.
Oh yeah.
So
No,
like
it
what would
also the
how
best player you could take, in a lot of positions like the best player from the 80s would get smoked by a backup player playing in today's game
it depends.
in
It
a
depends
lot of
on
the
the skill.
cases.
It depends on the skill set. I believe
Oh.
honestly in my personal
Oh.
opinion if you go with the like NHL.
Hmm.
Like, I don't think guys like Sidney Crosby and Alexander Ovechkin would have nearly the goal totals because the issue they'd run into is a lot of people hit them a lot more.
Oh
Like,
yeah, a little bit more physical last.
yes, you had enforcers, but you had a ton more fighting and you had a ton more physicality in the game.
I think if anyone could translate today's game into then's game, it'd be Ovechkin.
Yeah, because of his physicality, I agree.
He's
And then
he's
it's like,
physical and also he's a freaking sniper. I think he would eat those goalies, those good old horsehair goalie pad goalies alive.
yeah, But the other
But then
difference you also
the
got to
different
look at
stick.
it too is that they would also probably have a guy headhunting him or following him. Like they had almost like footy, they had a tagger. They had guys that literally would skate with another superstar. Like Gretzky used to have that all the time. Like
Yep.
that's the other thing. Oh, what would Gretzky do in present day? I said, well, it depends. Does he get his equipment or does he get 1980s equipment? Because if he gets 1980s equipment, he's not gonna compete worth the darn. If he's
No.
got present day equipment, he might. But the issue is he as fast a skater as some of the guys that skate nowadays? Is he as hard a shot? No, he was never a hard shooter. He was just more skilled than everybody. But if you also look at it back in those days, it's like looking at it's like if you take some of the defenders that play in the AFL nowadays, I think it'd be interesting to see them because you gotta remember the game is different. Nowadays, most teams play grid style zone defense along the entire field. Very few teams play one-on-one defense for the entire length of the field. Back in the 80s and 90s, that's the only style of defense you played in footy.
Mm.
And that's the reason why you had the 100-goal kickers
Oh
because
my gosh, Frio.
the Frio of
You
last year
gotta
is
admit
starting to
that.
rear its ugly head, unfortunately,
Yes,
where
it
they can't kick
is.
straight. Ball, attack it, use it. Good ball.
All right. Fair enough. Well, you picked up extra 10 meters on that one?
It's the one thing that is it's so hard sometimes to adjudicate because I think so many umpires sometimes fall for the fact that because it's kicked, they think just because it's caught that it's mark and they
Yep.
forget to pay attention to the distance.
That's yes,
Because
sir,
I've
Donnie.
I just saw the
34.
scoreboard tick over.
34.
Didn't get there.
Wow, Frio sucks today when it comes to their goal kicking. Man,
I don't think Frio is playing that badly. They're inaccurate right now.
that's
That'll
why I had
help.
the whole when it comes to the goal kicking part. That
That'll
saves
help.
my
That'll help.
opinion.
Lob just got it from about 20 out, so he should put this
Oh, I
away.
swear, dude, if you shank this one,
If he misses this one, it's not Frio's day.
dude, I like it when
And this is
Hillenberg
this
is
is
going.
huge because it takes it to a 1 point game.
Himmy is a bad man when he gets going.
It's good. 1 point game. The one Frio Docker in the state. At least they
Good for
found him.
him. Good for him.
The one Frio Docker fan. They found him.
Oh, I love it.
Uh, it was great. He was making sure everybody around him knew what team he supported.
All right, can the Giants get another one from 50 out? They cannot. That was short. Right at quarter time. You know what? Great first quarter for the Giants, oh man. Let's go. 34-7? Hell yeah.
Well, the only thing I would say is the same around score line happened in the Swans game last week, and the Swans won. So it just shows you how a game can change. So it's a good first quarter, but gotta maintain it.
Always trying to such a buzzkill,
Yeah,
Donnie.
front on contact.
I appreciate your honesty. I just don't want to hear it.
Well, that's not honesty. It's just that's not honesty. That's just it's called experience.
You know what? You know, potato, potato. I just
Frio
let me be.
starting to roll now.
Oh man,
Right now, what's killing Geelong is Fremantle is at least they cut it off that time, but Fremantle's been able to get once they get past the initial first wave of Geelong pressure, then the field opens up. And if they can hit the core, they can hit the corridor kick, then it opens up the rest of the field. Yeah, Geelong's now struggling. They're winning the initial ruck taps and getting it in. But if they don't get a shot on goal from there, Fremantle is rebounding it out and then attacking. Good ball. Nope, middle is not open. Bomb it towards the goal square. Yep. Yeah.
it's probably the best move in that situation.
Well, it
If
was
you
the
got
only
a
thing
bit
he
of a
had.
better
Nothing
kick.
else. Nothing else was open. Yep, good call. That wasn't 15. Probably a good decision. Fighting over it between teammates. You're still in play. High tackle. If they can get it going, they can get the switch, and they should be able to have space. There it is. Nice mark.
What's the rule again? You can only run like what 20 meters or
15.
50, 15.
So we tell most guys when we first teach them, we say to count 10 steps. Once you get to 10 steps, the ball's got to hit the ground.
How
And that
much of
you
a pain? I haven't got my hands on Sharon yet. What? I know I've played around with the football to bounce it like that. It's a pain in the ass. Is it easier with one of these?
the easiest way I tell most people is I said, remember everything that you learned when you bounced a basketball? I said, forget it because it won't help you out worth a darn. Because I know it's that always gets a joke. No, I mean it's kind of like a basketball. It's kind of like a basketball. The biggest difference is that you can't flex your wrist. Like you know
Mm,
how when you bounce a basketball, you flex your wrist down to give more
yep.
momentum so the ball kicks back up. When you bounce a footy, you almost kind of have to flat hand it because you don't want to flex your wrist because if you flex your wrist, then the wrong part of the footy hits the ground and then it bounces who knows where. So
Yeah,
what you
that's
want to
what you
do is
do
you
with the
want to kind of
football. You just
what you
gotta.
kind of want to do is you want to push it flat hand down basically
Yep.
because what you want to do is you want to shove the top part of the football down towards the ground because if that hits just right, it'll kick basically straight up. So if you're running and you push it flat handed, it'll bounce and kick up to where you're going to be as you're running. So it's one of those.
Does
It
it take a
takes a
while to
lot.
get good at?
Oh yeah, it takes a while because it is so much of it's practice and timing.
Especially to do it on the run too. That'd be a pain in the ass.
Well, and most coaches here in the States don't even teach. They try not to teach the bounce. They basically tell them they said either get rid of it or stop and touch the ball because you don't have to bounce it. The ball just has to touch the ground. So for some, all they do is they grab both the sides of the football and then they just touch the ball onto the ground. The only thing is you got to slow down to do it
Hmm.
because you want to be under control because you don't want to fall. Because if you fall and then get tackled, you're going to get hold of the ball.
You also
So
look
that's
a
why,
bit like an ass.
yeah, you kind of look like a loser too. So
I feel like that's the worst part.
yeah, so the ridicule is never fun. So
The ridicule is worse than the turnover.
some would say, yeah. So the running bounce is not something. It's not an easy skill. It's probably one of the tougher skills to learn
Fair
because, like
enough.
I said, there's so many kids here in the States, they're used to the basketball bounce, which, like I
Hmm.
said, the flexing of the wrist. And I've seen people try to, I said, as soon as you flex your wrist, I said, you're just begging for the ball to go anywhere.
And it's
And
so
that's what
natural to
usually
want to flex
happens.
your wrist when you do that too.
Exactly.
No one bounces a basketball without flexing their wrist. That'll make you look make you look so unathletic.
Hmm. Well, it just looks really weird too.
Yep.
Because, well, and then you don't get any energy in the basketball, so it doesn't come back
Just
as
kind of
quickly.
drops.
The only thing, if you're a Frio supporter, that you're cheering about is the fact that you're not shooting well and you're still in this game.
Wow, already 2:45 left. This quarter's blown by.
Not as well. There's not as much goal scoring.
Yeah. Thanks.
The clock will tick away a lot fast. That should be
Oh,
insufficient attempt. Oh no, throw in. That's surprising
why you say that?
because it seems like normally ones like that where a guy is literally facing out of bounds and they kick it towards out of bounds, that they usually call it insufficient attempt or deliberate.
Hmm.
So it's kind of surprising that they didn't call it. That'll be a throw because he scooped it. It's the way he scooped it because he scooped it. Yep. Frio, a point here is draws it even. A goal here gives Fremantle the lead.
All right, game on for GWS.
Yeah, it'll be a behind, and we're even at 31.
Oh, did that go through? Nope. Just missed it. Damn. Jesse almost had that one. Missed by about a couple feet or half a
Mm-hmm.
meter. All right, what? A meter is about what? About 4 feet.
I have to look it up. I can't remember specifically.
Nah, I can't remember the last time I saw the actual length of a meter. We're American, we use yards. And we measure everything in the length of a football field. I know you guys for the USFL don't have necessarily have access to as big of grounds. Do you typically play on like 150 yard? You would say about
It all just depends. Sometimes you can
depends on the
find
venue.
sometimes you can find ones that are longer, but the issue is normally there's always something you've got to sacrifice. You've either got to sacrifice length or you've got to sacrifice width.
What would you rather play on? A wide field or a long field? Is a player.
Depends on what team you have. Like
Gotcha.
if you've got a team that kicks well, you can play on a long field. You can play on a long field because if you got good kicks. If you're not a very good kicking team, you'd rather do a wide field because it's
Hmm.
faster. You can get up and down the field much faster,
Hmm.
um, because of the shorter distance. So, and like I
Fair
said, it
enough.
depends. It depends on what your skill level is. Like, if you're super skilled, can kick the ball well, you can play on a long field because you can navigate the distance.
How are the Roos looking like right now?
Oh boy.
Yeah, maybe not. I know you mentioned the numbers weren't great, but how about the skill level?
Well, we're just with my guys, a lot of them that are there, they've played several years. I mean, it's not AFL level. I'm not
Hmm.
in anywhere near that delusion that my guys are AFL level, but there is a little bit for me that I go that there I am, how to say this nicely. I'm a little disappointed that some of these guys are a little more. a little more skilled than they are.
Mm.
Like I'm not talking like game breaker. I'm just talking like consistency when it comes to kicking the ball correctly, handballing it correctly. Like I think that's the one thing that irks me sometimes is that for as many years as some of our guys have played, there are still guys that still struggle with this. Now, there's professionals that can't kick worth a darn.
Yeah.
So I try not to let it frustrate me, but it does. It does a little bit when there are guys that have been playing for 6, 7 years that are on this team that they can't hit a 15-meter kick to save their life sometimes, and that's frustrating.
I'm waiting for Boise's team to get a little bit more going because I haven't seen a whole lot. I know they're on the USAFL website, but that's about it. Maybe I should email them. You know anything about the Boise club?
I do not, unfortunately. The closest club that I have contact with, it's you is the one, the War Goals in Wasatch, which is in Utah.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Let's go, Caniglio. You beauty of a man. 41-7, Donnie. It's a good time right now.
I told you this is the game. This is the game where nobody gives them a sniff and they pull one out of a body cavity.
You know what? I think my pessimism is working so far. I know we're all good at doing that, at least with some of our teams. You and your anti Sydney tips. I'd be really worried if the front of my house just kind of broke off like that.
It's the tiniest bit, but it is a commercial. So
Oh,
this is a great commercial.
I don't think I've
Be
seen
with
this
your
one.
loved one. Not that special. Oh yeah, I think there's a YouTube comment that I meant to go on and answer is that we were asked when it comes to the Watch AFL app, what kind of announcers do you get, American or Australian? We get the Foxtel or the Channel 7 ones, so we get the Australian ones along with all of the awesome Australian commercials. So
The only
I did.
the only time I've ever heard American calling a footy game was for the USAFL stuff. I
Mhm.
don't, I don't, dudes, any of these AFL games have American commentators?
Nope.
I didn't think
Unless an,
so.
unless an American finds their way over there to do it. I mean, we're getting,
Am I
like
going
I
to have
said,
to
we're either getting
take
we're
up the
either getting
mantle?
we're either getting Channel 7 or Foxtel. So
I'll be the one to take up the mantle. Donnie, Mason Cox is hated. I'll be the most hated. Well, actually, no. I might not be the most hated commentator, even if I go full American. I know there's some opinions on on some of the guys out there.
well, some of them aren't commentators, some of them are color guys.
Sorry, the
Like
color, the color guys too. I would be
yeah,
that. I would.
there's some color guys that I don't think they understand how many people thoroughly dislike them. But there's a few play-by-play callers that draw the ire of many fans online for
You know
sure. So
what? I feel like I could find my niche here, Donnie. Just being that American guy that comes and just kind of doesn't know a whole lot about this, like in terms of being able to break down the sport. I'm still not. I'm not there yet. Absolutely not. But still wants to give his opinions on everything because he thinks they matter. I could find a
mhm.
niche. Just be the most. Well, guys, I think he should have kicked the ball in that situation instead of getting tackled. Probably would have been better to go for the mark.
Mhm. But sometimes you just never know.
You know what? I think he should have kicked it through the middle so he got 6 points instead of one. Probably would have helped him in this situation.
Easy to say from your couch, my friend.
No, I'm actually from my office chair. It's a little better on the back than the couch.
Hmm.
Oh man, that's what I love. Those MMA. Watch MMA. Oh man, how's he already getting tired? It's only halfway through the second.
Yeah, those
Oh,
are the
Toby,
those are,
Toby, let's go. To- Toby freaking Green, Donnie.
you
Toby
were
Green.
so you totally reverse psychologied yourself in the preview show. Like there's no way they're gonna win,
You
and
like how that worked?
they're coming out absolutely on in fuego.
Toby Green. I love him. He's my hero. Wow. Not Tony Green. Now they actually have more goals than they do behind, so that's a good spot to be at. I actually, what I've liked most, it's not necessarily their goal scoring, but dude, their tackling has been fantastic so far. The pressure that the Giants have been putting on the Crows has been hard to match. And the Giants are winning the tackles. They're dominating inside 50s. They have 10 tackles on the inside the 50, and they still are up on a pretty good margin when it comes to contested marks. And Toby just kicked another, Donnie. Toby just kicked another. Oh, oh, Hall of Fame. Let's go.
He's not enjoying this at all, is he?
Oh, Donnie, I'm actually happy watching a football game. This is amazing. Is this what it's like to be a Swans fan sometimes?
Depends. Depends on who you
Is this
talk
what it's
to.
like to be in the Swans fan in the fourth quarter?
My God, 54-7. You gotta be kidding me.
No kidding, Donnie. Let's go. Boys. Yes.
Toby's already got four, and it's only the first half.
Yep.
So we're halftime at Fremantle, and like I just said in my tweet, I said if you look at the total score, you'd think this is an arm wrestle game. You look at the shots on goal, you're thinking Fremantle should be leading this game if they could kick straight.
Yep.
And all due respect, that second quarter, Fremantle bossed that second quarter.
Yeah, can
Geelong
we talk
could
about
not
how
get going.
good Frio's defense was?
They're so they're so structured. They're
You know,
so disciplined.
you were
They
saying they're gonna
don't
have some
make
problems with the ruck
mistakes.
possibly in this one. What do you think? How do you think that match has been playing out so far?
I think the other thing that I forgot about was the fact is that it's the one eternal issue that Geelong has had, and that's their rucks because
Mm-hmm.
Reece Stanley is good a player as he is, he's just not that elite ruck. He's just not that ruck that's going to make the
Jesse
huge
Hogan,
impact.
that's six, Donnie. Let's go, man.
So,
I hate to interrupt you, but unless it's GWS kicking goals, then I have no problems.
yep. So it looks like Geelong's already used their Medi sub.
That's a bummer of an injury, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it'll be very interesting second half here because Geelong's got a lift. Because if what just happened in the second quarter continues, Fremantle will win this game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not making a wild claim there. I'm being legitimate. If Geelong does not find a way to spin this game, because that was not a good half of football.
No, no, no,
And
no.
that especially that second quarter was not a good quarter.
All right, let's see if I can piss off some guys, some people on Twitter. All right. The main AFL Twitter account talking about Toby Green, and I'm gonna reply it with best in the game with a gif of him. Or the odds someone gets pissed off. All right. Oh, out on the fool. Barely missed that one. Adelaide, you guys got to do a little bit better there. Been pretty happy with him. They've kept Tex off the board so far.
Which I think is the reason why Adelaide is not playing as well,
Probably.
because he's kind of their talisman,
Well, we saw what
unfortunately.
happened last year. If Tex didn't score, they lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did lose, often-ish, but Tex had to be playing well for them to win.
Wow.
Wow, what?
60-7.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have
it's
60
kind of
points.
cool, huh? 30 minutes of play, you got 60 points. Feeling pretty good. Even with how horrible the second half team GWS is, it'll be hard for them to blow this lead. It would take legitimate talent for them to blow it. All right. The Crows kicked 6, but still not worried.
But you're not the only one. The person that I interviewed for the GWS thing, Marco Sullivan, literally he put, I tipped Adelaide too. I decided against going to Adelaide today because the start of the term is always frenetic. Three ergo, the Giants are now performing the way they are because I didn't go.
He's doing us a service.
No, he's doing the same. He's doing the same thing I said. It's reverse psychology.
Yep.
It's like I've said a few times. It's like you tip one, so you're good to go either way. If you get it wrong, you get the tip right. If you get it right, your team wins. So there's no it's a win-win situation either way.
Exactly. Let's go
So
GWS. I still need to get my ass a jumper.
an interesting triple header after this to end the night.
What we got? Is it Hawthorne playing?
Oh boy, that'll change things a little bit.
The rain?
Yeah, looks like it's raining down in Geelong.
It's a really sunny rain. Apparently, I haven't checked the weather, but it's been raining a bunch down at the MCG. Right? Is that where Melbourne in the Hawks are playing today?
Yep.
Yeah. So apparently it's been raining a decent amount, so that might play to Melbourne's favor. Just like most of the other parts of this game were going to play to their favor, but it's besides the point. Nice, Mark. Who was that? Oh, that was Braden getting in there. All right. Damn, Dobie actually missed. Lockie Whitfield. What a goal, sir. Damn, dude. Donnie, this guy was not even facing the goal. Off the throw in. Wow. What a goal.
Yeah, so things will get really interesting. Here's a stat of a follower of mine, the chaps chat cats. It's a cats podcast. First quarter, their inside 50 efficiency was 77.8%, and that second quarter it dropped down to 44%.
Ooh. Oh, that's not very good.
Mhm.
Wow,
So
that's a dramatic drop off.
but as I kind of said it, that's Frio's pressure. Frio's defense is really the reason that happened, because they were coming in and it was repelling right back out. There was no shots on goal, which instantly kills your percentage, your inside 50 efficiency. If you have no way of, if you're not scoring each and every time it doesn't in there, it knocks you down your scoring efficiency. So, and that's what was getting Geelong, was is that they didn't go in there very often, and when they did go in, it was repelling right back out. And a few
Mm,
times it even repelled right back out and went right back down the field for Fremantle to find a way to get a shot on goal. Yes, many of them were behinds, but the problem is that that's not something you want to have happen very often.
yeah. You know what? GWS's handballing has been pretty good today too. Except for there. Great. Ooh, foot race. Get there. That's not gonna make it. You know what? They handballed that about 100 meters down the field. Just handballs. It's pretty good. That can't be easy. Just constantly moving.
Hey,
GWS 10 marks inside the 50 to Adelaide 0.
Adelaide doubled their score.
You know what, Diane? Let's just take a moment to realize we're watching two games of footy, and for you, it's only now just turned past midnight.
Yep, 12:09. Yep.
That's not bad.
No, the only issue, here's the thing though, is and I agree, is that the one thing that's got to be frustrating, and it is a little bit frustrating, is when you get two games at the same time, is because you kind of have to choose, you have to pick and choose, and that is frustrating. And it's like, I understand the people that are upset when you get the two Friday night games both at the same time, because it's like you kind of do, you have to choose which one you're going to watch, and that gets frustrating because if you get two games that are good, it's like you hate having to choose, but you got to choose one. So, but we'll have to see. It'll
Well,
be interesting.
as an
So,
NFL fan, that does not phase me one bit with how much I watch Red Zone.
yeah, this is true, but
I have two.
you're also talking about a league that has twice as many teams,
Yeah.
and
But I mean, just when it comes
over
to watching
over 10
multiple
over,
games at the
yeah,
same
it's
time,
like,
I have it's second nature because my best step is I have two games on and then I have red zone on.
mhm.
So I'm also just a psychopath. Get
Yeah.
there, beautiful, beautiful, my captain, dude. That's two. That's two for Caniglio.
Canelio.
Canelio. Oh my bad. Did I say that? It's late. I'll blame it on that.
It's fine.
Uh,
There's
whatever.
actually, I saw it somewhere. I think it was on Twitter that they actually were interviewed. They sent cameras to all of the clubs and said, if you've got a player that has a difficult last name, have them say it into the camera so then we can put, and they literally put a montage of all the players that had very interesting names that might be misinterpreted,
You mean like
and had
Jagiani?
them. Viney.
Nah, nah. I will never call him Viney now. I'm just going to roll with it. It's Uncle Vinny at this point.
Well, there's a player for Adelaide whose last name is Saligo, Sligo.
Ooh.
Yep. Josh Rochelle. It's basically spelled Rachel with an extra E.
Or what about Collingwood's Jack Minivan?
No, Jack Ginnivan. Yep.
Yep, yep. Jack Honda Odyssey. Yep, yep.
I should call him Bus.
I was going to
Call him
butcher his name.
Bus because he's a fan. Get it?
Okay, okay. That's pretty good.
Well, I've heard there's some funny nicknames of some players that sometimes it goes off their name, and if there's a connection to it, that sometimes the nickname will be off that.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I'm just going. So Jack Ginnivan is going to go to minivan to
mhm.
Odyssey. He's just going to be Odyssey
like
to me.
like if you ever had a player with the last name of North, you could call him Compass because the compass
Ah,
always points
yep.
north.
That's the one. If I go for a jumper, I would have to get the charcoal one. You think?
That's probably the slickest. That's probably the slickest one.
Yeah.
There's a good start for Fremantle.
You know what?
They have the lead.
Oh, he took one off the head.
Falcon.
You see, it wasn't it was a light falcon because it was off a mark kind of. It's like a 30-meter floater.
Now, if you got both games up, check out the goal that Fremantle just kicked.
I turned my head. Let's see what we got for you. Ooh, off turn. Oh, that's slick.
Yeah,
Always
watch
nice to
watch
be able to
watch watch
project.
from this. Watch from this angle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that is great
Fremantle
kick,
leads.
but also that's just a nice heads up play right there.
Well, it just shows you how much these guys practice that snap kick with the
Mm-hmm.
with the hook.
That's
Because to
good
be able to
stuff,
do it
man.
that quickly with that much pressure and hit it that sweetly
Sounds
is
pretty
pretty
hard to do.
impressive.
You know, one thing I always like to.
I have trouble doing that, and I've practiced it. I've practiced it a ton with no defender. So imagine it with the defender.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, Adelaide with the behind. I'll take it. What I think is unique is normally I've just seen with Australian sports in general. Like I first saw in rugby, and then they also kind of recreated in footy where the kind of ads on the field are slanted through it in kind of like 3D ish.
mm-hmm. To where it looks like it's 3D, but it's
Yeah,
not.
I think that's smart. It also looks kind of cool.
Yeah, it does.
Rugby has a lot of ads on their fields, so you definitely see those.
Don't play for the free kick, Lockie. Come on. You duck down to try to get the hand high.
Yeah, that's
That's
kind
the
of
right
weak,
call.
huh?
I don't know about weak. It's pretty obvious where what he was doing
Mm-hmm.
without the football. Free kick, Geelong.
You know, Adelaide's gained some good tackles in here as well.
Ooh, not a good kick.
You know what, Donnie?
I wouldn't have thumbs upped him. He totally missed that one by 3 meters. What the hell?
It's for the team
The
building.
guy see the ball
Get
goes out of bounds and
give
he
him
goes,
confidence.
he goes like this to the teammates. I would have been like, dude, you completely missed me. Seriously. I wasn't even close.
I wasn't expecting me to be more excited for this GWS game than the Frio Geelong one. It's been kind of a snooze since the first quarter. Like it was a good quarter, but since then, it's just, yeah.
No, this
Toby
Geelong.
just barely missed his fifth.
No, that wasn't in the back. Thank you. Good.
What do you think it's more of? Is it a lack of is it more bad offense from Geelong or good defense from Frio for the last 30
Combination of
minutes?
both, to be completely honest with you.
What do you think it's like siding in though? It,
And if I lean it, it'd be 55% Fremantle's defense is is really giving Geelong issues right now.
That's kind of how I'm
Plus the
feeling too.
plus the fact you also got to look at it too. Plus the fact you got to look at it too is their midfield is playing really really well, and this has been Geelong's Achilles heel for the longest time. Is they don't have that huge dependable ruckman. They have a
Hmm.
ruckman that is there. Whether they make an impact or not is always suspect.
So we were
And so,
talking this week that maybe Frio should be making the move for Mel. Man, I'm blanking on his name. Melbourne's backup ruck.
Jackson, or Tim English from the Western Bulldogs.
Yeah, we're talking about both of those. Do you think it's in terms of window? Is it too late for Geelong to target someone like that? Also in terms of cap space as well, probably
Well,
out.
well, they can, but the issue that they run into is they have a lot of money and a lot of veteran experienced players. And unless they plan on doing a purge of some of those veteran experienced players, they don't have the finances to be able to bring in a young pup ruckman like that.
Mm-hmm.
They would almost have to give something up in the process, which I mean, the Western Bulldogs or even the Melbourne Demons would probably appreciate being able to get maybe a quality player
You know what? I'd hate to
from
see it.
them. I just don't think it would happen.
I'd hate to see it, but a guy maybe like the Giants' Matt Flynn might make a little bit of sense, where it's a solid ruckman
Well,
with
now
a
that
way cheaper price.
now that Braden Bruce has kind of stepped up and took that top spot, that's definitely an option. The
Mm-hmm.
issue though is that as we kind of see, you almost kind of do need
Ruck, yeah,
two ruckmen, if not three or four, in your list, just because I mean,
it's
you lose
cursed.
one, or you can lose one in one game with just the right PCL. You can lose one for over half the season, and you don't want to go into a game with having to move a tall forward into the ruck, especially if they don't play it very often.
You want that's a
So
good halftime score. 74-15. Mm.
and that's pretty much game unless Geelong doesn't score and Adelaide scores all the points in the second half. That'll be holding the ball.
I don't know, Donnie. You've seen the metrics of how shit GWS is in the second half. We'll see if they could change things up a little bit. That'd be nice.
Well, there's crap in the first half and there's really crap in the first half, and I don't think they've been that bad. Like at least bad enough to lose by the whatever their deficit is currently.
Yep.
That would take a Herculean effort to drop a 69-point lead.
It would. I guess 59.
Oh, 59, my bad.
There we go. So a
Do
little
correct.
less Herculean.
Do it's still Herculean. That's over half a century is not easy, especially so. I mean, that's almost basically a 10 goal deficit.
Well, if anyone could blow that lead, it's GWS right now. So we'll see how this plays out.
Fremantle's got to get something going because right now they cannot get it out of their own zone. Went out of play, which is the worst possible. That helps the Cats because that
So
relieves
has it
pressure.
been? It's been about 25 minutes since the Cats last put some points up on the board.
Mm-hmm. The only thing that helps them is Fremantle isn't scoring either. So
Nope.
I mean, it's become an arm wrestle over the last 5 minutes or so.
What are the odds that one of these teams breaks 70?
very low considering that 31 to 37 with 15 minutes in the third quarter, and neither team has been super quick to get the ball in on a consistent basis. And then Stengo kicks in the man on the mark.
Oh. Let's chalk that one up to good defense if you're Frio and not just luck.
Well, that's called him being too close to the man on the mark, and then the umpire being good at calling the man on the mark to go.
Well, they can move as soon as
As soon
the
as he yells play
moves left or
on.
right or player on.
you gotta hear play on. I mean, he can move right or left, but if you don't hear the umpire yell play on, you don't want to move because if you do, it's a 50 because he's got to release you from it. Oh, mark the football.
Hungry Jackson Uno. Oh, what a combo.
Oh, good defensive
On a
mark. They
totally
needed that
unrelated
one.
note, who wins the Stanley Cup playoffs?
Uh, hard to say. Colorado and Florida are not two of the teams that you'd look at. But then again, though, the President's Trophy winner has not won the Stanley Cup in like 10 years.
Yeah.
So as
I
much
was
as
not
I'd love to,
expecting Florida to win it this year, so man, they blew me away.
well, again, the regular season, the playoffs are two completely different animals. So we'll
Oh
have to
yeah.
see. Again, Florida had a good season last year and fell apart against Tampa in their series. So I'm if you look at the matchups again, and I don't know some of the results today, we might still have to come out to see it. Does Boston still play in the in the Metropolitan Division, which means they're going to get Carolina, the New York Rangers, and the Penguins, which I think would be a more advantageous route to the Eastern Conference Finals than if you
Mm,
were to go through the Atlantic, where you've got Tampa, Toronto, and Florida.
mm.
So if I'm Boston, I almost don't mind getting Carolina in the first because I think that particular division I think is a little bit more gettable for
The
Boston.
East was ridiculous. All playoff teams above 100 points.
Well, I think that was because so many lower teams in the East were bad.
Mm, fair
Like
enough.
Montreal was bad, Ottawa was bad,
Montreal
Buffalo
was
for the
shit.
longest time until the end of the season, till the last probably couple of months were bad.
Oh, we won't
Um,
get points from Geelong.
nope,
And no, back
and
out.
repelled.
That didn't last long. Oh shit. Oh,
That's out on the full. So
this is
that'll
not
come
great
right
footy
back.
at this point.
I don't see. I hate seeing that. Just skill errors sometimes are not always because it's bad at footy. Sometimes it's because the defensive pressure forces you into a mistake.
All these bad handballs, and I don't think it's all due to defensive pressure.
Sometimes it's perceived pressure. Like there, you see
Mm,
there how skinny this ground is. That camera angle is this camera angle is perfect. Look at how skinny this ground is. So
that's
you can already
crazy.
you can already see the boundary in two kicks. The MCG it takes three.
Yeah, the MCG feels like you're on a continent.
It's unrealistic attempt. The long free kick. Well, he jumped and he went nowhere near the ball. That's a I mean, literally a pro watch. He jumps and he doesn't even come close to the football. That's an unrealistic attempt. That's the other thing too. Fremantle's there. If that gets out, Fremantle's on the run with multiple options because Geelong has so many people in front of the football.
Mm. Man, I'm almost debating on leaving the Sharks. I've been mulling
Well, there,
over
there's
this for
there's
like
there's
a season.
There's Australians that would get mad at you because they say once you pick a team, you gotta stay with them
And
for
that's
life.
where I'm at. Like, I don't think I'm gonna leave them as a fan. I don't think
Well,
I
you're
would.
you're you're talking you're talking to a guy that's had in the last 10 seasons at least four times where his team's finished worse in the competition, and I'm still repping the Buffalo Sabres. So if that's not
Yeah.
dedication, I don't know what is.
And that's where like I'm just going. I think it's just a bit of Stockholm syndrome, but
Loving your captor. I don't know if I'd go that far. You made the decision to like that particular team. It wasn't thrust upon
Unfortunately,
you due to
I made a bad choice. It's like, oh, why did I choose the Giants, man? But I'm with them. I literally
yeah,
chose the
that should be
Giants
a free
because
kick for
they're the first team
Fremantle.
I remember watching. So I guess I'll ride with them.
Well, that was a crazy turn of events.
So okay, so they're just going to uphold that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it would have been a free kick for Geelong, so Swatowski takes advantage and puts it home
So how does that work out? If it's going to be a free kick for Geelong.
because it's a free kick for front on contact there,
Yep.
and Swatowski plays the ball because everybody in technically because it's an advantage for his team when he collects it and he runs forward. So
Almost like a
the free kick is there. Now watch, he picks it up. Now he
uh-huh.
can run.
Yeah. Almost like a delayed penalty in hockey.
Basically, yeah. And if you score the goal, you don't get the penalty. So that's kind of basically it.
Yeah, but if say he kicked it behind at that point, do they still get a
It's
free
still
kick?
a behind. It's still a
Okay.
behind because they're not going to bring it back. I've
What if he goes? What if he totally just whiffs it, goes down full? Do they give him the free kick?
free kick Geelong then because they've already played the advantage because
Mm,
they took the shot on goal.
gotcha.
If they don't, the only way they don't get a shot on goal is if he doesn't play advantage and he brings it back to where the free kick would have occurred.
Okay, I hear you. Wow, that was not played well.
Tracy's up and about, and Frederick will kick in another goal. Is he going to do the gritty this time?
Mm.
Nope.
There we go.
Frio's got their tails up right now. They found two
Finally, some
more. They
life.
found two more Frio fans. They switch the play, and then they attack the corridor, and they attack the wide angle. Good body use there, and bombs it into a chance to full forward. Makes a great play on a slider, then a good tackle, and Frederick gets the crumb and puts it away. Good team goal. The good team goal there by Fremantle.
You know what's funny is
If I'm
just these
Geelong,
last two goals might
the
have put this
alarm
game
bells are.
away.
If I'm Geelong, the alarm bells are going off right now. You're down 3 goals right now.
Now you gotta freaking send it.
I mean, it's not panic stations, but the alarm bells are.
Oh,
That's
is that
high.
Dangerfield I just caught?
Yeah, he's out with a coarse calf that's been bugging him since round 2.
That calf injuries are annoying as hell. I can speak from experience.
Well, because as soon as you think you got to figure it out, you pull up just right the right
Yep.
way and you restrain it.
No, see, I think one of my least favorite injuries are the minor ones like strains. Is soon because the pain in the ass thing about them, the only way to heal a strain is to not do anything.
Just the
And
rest.
as
Yep.
soon as your strain feels healthy, you want to go out there and like, get going again. But you have to like give it extra few like
Mm-hmm.
however much time you spent getting to that point, you gotta spend like another half of that time
Mm-hmm.
extra. It's so annoying. Is you don't want to overdo a strain because overdone strains turn into tears.
Mm-hmm.
Well, technically a strain is a very slight tear, but it turns into bad tears.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
No, it goes
Turns
from
from
a
rest to
small and well,
surgery.
actually, the easiest thing is strains done incorrectly go to tears, and strains are small tears. Tears are big tears.
Yep.
So,
Strains lead to surgeries.
well, strains usually don't need surgery. They just need
Sorry,
rest and let the muscle recover.
unrested strains lead to surgeries. That's the one.
I agree.
They're dangerous, man. It could be just a little tweak. You don't feel it, or you
Well, and
don't
the
think it's
scare
anything major.
well, Stingle's up and about now. Will that do anything? Use it. Good decision. Up and over. Just pop kick it. There you go. Perfect. Use it. Oh, he should have used Henry there. Is he gonna go for it?
Nope.
Yeah, he ended up making the right decision. Reece Stanley gets a
Nice.
mark in the
Yep.
goal square.
That
So
was a
this
good mark
this
though.
should this
That was a
should be a
really good
goal.
mark. Very well played.
Well, this is the difference between Reece Stanley and most ruckmen. Most ruckmen usually don't have that much athleticism to be able to do that. And oh man, he almost buggered it. He just slipped it in.
Oh, that's
Oh man,
so man. That
he
should not have been that
he
close.
almost buggered that big time. Oh my god!
Oh, that would have
I'm
been
watching
horrible.
like I just like literally just jinxed the crap out of him on that one. Wow.
You
I
almost had
mean,
the whole.
one more coat of paint, one more coat of paint on that bar, and we got a behind. So, and he wanted it, and it was almost too late.
You know what? The pacing of this game's been pretty good. Like the draft, honestly, the day two of the draft flew by.
Well, it's because they finally started cutting down time. They don't do 15 minutes in between each pick.
10, but no, it feels like a
Next, they
lifetime.
moved it down to 5 because I don't think they need that much time.
Yeah, so day one's
It's
is
like the
10. Everything after that's 5.
but it was 15. That's why it seemed like the
What was
game
the
that,
last
that
15?
I can't remember, but it used to be 15 because I remember the draft used to start at 7 and not end till like at least the first day used to be 1, 2, and
Ain't
3.
no
It not
way
it
15 minutes.
it was.
No, I mean, you should not be using. Unless you're like calling 10 different teams of possible trades. But you should have done that before
But
you were on the clock.
but here's the thing though is you would think any trade possibilities would have already been previously discussed before you go into the draft night,
Exactly.
unless you get a random one like a team acquires a pick early in the day and then they're calling it. But even still, they're 15 minutes should be more than enough time for me to be able to call another GM, go,
Day two
hey,
was
this
pretty
is what
good.
I'm thinking.
There's a lot of trades that went down today. Like the Broncos, they had 2 picks today. They had the 64th and then the 70th, 75th, and then they also had a later one. They picked it 64th and they traded the other 2 down,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm okay with because the Broncos were building some good depth picks right now because they're not going to be drafting any stars this year. They're drafting a lot of depth. George Patton's already done a great job. Who do you follow for football, Donnie? I don't really know.
I'm
Because
not a
you're
big
not really an
NFL.
NFL guy, though, huh?
But if you twist my arm, Cincinnati Bengals is the team that
I like
I
that.
kind of support.
I
So
was just going to guess maybe the Buffalo Bills.
I thought about that, but it's like I always love the Bengals helmets. I always thought those were sick.
Oh, they
So
are real nice. You know,
and I
the
like
Bengals have some of
I
the best unis in
well,
the league.
and the other thing too is that so many teams are called the Tigers. The Tigers is the generic, so the fact that
No,
they're
it's
the
Bengals.
Bengals, it's different. So
Look
that's
at
why
you, Richmond.
it still kind of covers my unique nicknames because not too many people are called the Bengals. I mean,
Yep.
Tigers is like the only team that I really follow that breaks that mold is Gonzaga, but that's only because I think the university's name is cool with Gonzaga because they usually go with Zags.
The Zags are nice,
But
but
it's
even though their
like
bulldog logo is the generic one that 1,000 high schools around the country have.
well, there's so many high schools and stuff like that that use the same generic stock
I
things.
played again when I was playing football in high school. I played against a Bulldogs with that generic Bulldog logo. And then I played
Mhm.
against a college with that generic Bulldog logo.
I never told you this, but
Oh,
a
and
high
that both
school
of them had the
here.
same colors. Both schools had the same colors too.
That's crazy. No, a high school here in Iowa actually sued the University of Wisconsin because they thought they had the same flying W.
Huh.
which is really, really funny because,
Oh, that was not good.
yeah,
Oh
that was
yeah,
a,
yeah.
that,
Go
that was
touch
a
your
bet.
cleat. You gotta adjust that one.
I no, I think that's where he had his, where
Mouth
he had
guard.
his
Oh, it's
mouth
probably in the
guard.
sock.
Yep.
Yeah. Never mind. I'm just a dick.
But no, I remember there's a high school here in Iowa that's just to west of me here in West Des Moines called Waukee, and they actually some kind of suit against Wisconsin for the Flying W.
Did they
It
win?
was a stupid. No,
Okay.
Wisconsin's been a university longer than Waukee's been a city, so I didn't
We thought that
understand
was a
it.
good idea.
Some idiot lawyer that thought he could get
Oh,
rich soon. I don't know. It was just the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my
dumbass.
life. So,
Oh, that's great.
well, and the color schemes aren't even the same. And I've actually seen it. If you see Waukee's W and Wisconsin's W, they look absolutely nothing alike.
What a moron.
So, well, that's just a bad decision. And now it's even worse decision.
Oh, wow. Good
Tried to
goal.
for tried to force it into a tiny window. Got it. Hey, there's more there. Found the supporter section. Look, and it's the worst place to turn it over because now they have no defensive pressure, and he just bombs it.
Oh, damn.
It's a good thought. It's the problem is that it's like a cornerback rating a quarterback size. He literally watched it. He literally watched it to where it was going. So
Yep.
God, the Adelaide game is like in the longest halftime break
Like,
ever.
why is this taking so long? What's going on here?
Like, did they have a streaker run on the field? Are they trying to blow up the
Okay.
Adelaide Oval because so many people are mad that they're playing like crap?
All
I
right, they're
mean, I
just
just
about to start.
okay, there we
But
go.
man, that was taking forever.
Well, there's one thing. I only need to watch the highlights if this thing keeps up because
Exactly. Well, the problem is if you're watching just the highlights, how many goals GWS is kicking, it's still gonna be a long highlight video.
yeah, they don't. Sometimes they don't always show every goal. Sometimes they just show impactful goals that make that change the game. Sometimes just
Yeah.
kind of depends.
You know what?
Like,
Honestly, the AFL does a good job with those like highlight videos they put on the YouTube. They do a pretty good job summing up the game.
mm-hmm. And sometimes it's best, especially if you make the mistake of looking at social media and you get spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the one thing I always got to catch myself on Saturday mornings if I haven't watched all the games is like literally cannot turn on Twitter,
Nope.
cannot turn on Facebook because I'm gonna get a spoiler
It's
if I
bad because
don't.
you sometimes do it by habit.
Exactly. And that's the kind of the thing that I always get myself. It's like I basically tell myself that I can't look at Twitter or Facebook until I've watched the games or at least the highlights that I know the
Gotta
result.
delete the app when you go to bed that night so you don't.
No, I don't need to delete the app because I don't have that many notifications that it
Okay.
gives away. In fact, my AFL live one gives away more than anything because sometimes it literally can give away the result and I haven't even turned on anything. It's just I literally open up my case for my um for my iPad
Yep.
and there it is, the
Score.
shocking result in that. So I already know something interesting has happened in that game and I
Yep.
haven't even watched it. Like that's the thing that's frustrating. So it's like I've gotten to the point now I've almost turned off all notifications on my iPad because it just makes it easier if I want to.
That's great.
So well, here's the other thing for me is that like Sunday is interesting. Sunday is interesting for me because not only do I have the Swans Brisbane game,
What
but then
time's that
like
one on
maybe
again?
1:40 a.m. my time, so about 12, so just after midnight on your for you.
Yep.
And the crazy thing is, I don't think I'm going to go to sleep after that game is over because less than 2 hours later, my professional soccer team plays their biggest rival
Oh,
at 6 a.m.
I guess early bedtime for you Saturday night.
Oh yeah, I've already told the wife. I already told the wife I said we're gonna eat. I said we're probably gonna eat dinner between 5 or 6, so then I can go to bed about 8
There
because
we go.
I
There we
gotta get up
go.
at 1:30 at the absolute latest.
That's awesome. You know what? I do respect your absolute dedication to watch all those Sydney games live. I
Well,
would
it's
do that for
because
the Giants.
it's the reason that is because one time I tried to watch it on tape delay. Like I'll tell a story. Like it was 2017. Sydney was playing Richmond at Marvel. I think
Mm,
it was where the game was. And we had 80-35 that day, which is our local tennis-side tournament. And so I told myself, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to sleep in because I got 80-35 to play the next day. So I need the rest.
yep.
So I told myself I was going to watch the highlights or watch the game after I got back from 80-35 as a way to kind of
Oh, one of
wind
the
down.
players or coaches say something at the tournament.
One of our friends told me that they lost after the siren kick.
Oh, there goes
I
the whole
haven't
game.
I have not missed a game since that day. I have not missed. I literally told myself that's never happening again. So I have watched every game live from then on. So that's 2017. It's 2022. I started my lack of sleep run that I do during the summer watching the Swans games um since then.
Over 100 games worth.
So yep. So that's how crazy that was. But yep,
Incredible.
it was one of our Australians. He looked, he goes, Donnie mate, did you see the end of the game? I'm like, no, I'm gonna watch it when I get home. He goes, shit. He goes, after the siren, mate. And I went,
Why'd you
damn it,
tell me?
youngie. Oh, I was pissed. I mean, I wasn't mad at him because he didn't know, but I
Yeah.
was like, dude, come on. So I went back and I just watched the highlights because I already knew what had happened, and
hmm
so
Was it at least a good? Sometimes I'll get some games spoiled,
Richmond
and it's
wins at
still fun to watch. Oh,
Richmond
good
wins
mark.
after the siren. So
Good mark. Tim Taranto laying out for that one. Come on. I love the little toss of grass to see the wind. Not sure if they're actually using it to see the wind or if it's just part of the routine. Keneally over for 6 more, Donnie. I think that's his third of the game. Wow. I love that. Senior captain and co-captain combined for 7 so far. That's good stuff. $82-15. Was not expecting that. Definitely not complaining. You good over there, Donnie?
say that again.
Oh, you good over there?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm trying to break down into 180 characters what I thought of the third quarter.
Good luck.
And sometimes it's more fun than it is other times. So because I have a lot of Dockers fans that I follow, and many of them are absolutely ecstatic right now.
Oh, I'm sure, man.
Well, I think with many of them, they kind of agreed with us. It was like they weren't going in super confident in that one, and they're playing up to what I think. as I kind of said, this is a game that could make or break Fremantle's season this year. If you can go down to the Cattery and get a big win like this, you're legitimately putting yourself
Flag
in
contention.
that. Well, you're in that category with Melbourne as a
Hmm.
team that legitimately people
Absolutely.
are going to discuss about the flag about the flag. So
Absolutely.
now, are they the same competitive level as Melbourne? We'll have to see again. I mean,
Offensively,
again,
not right now. Well, actually, offensively, yeah, they're at the same level.
offensively for the most part they have been. That first half was a little
Ooh,
suspect kick going forward, but
UFC with the Austrian advert. There we go.
and then supercars,
You know what? I'm not a huge fan of racing, but I've just seen like some F1 clips, and those commentators get me excited.
which is really funny because no offense to F1, but there's usually only about four to five cars that can usually win a race on any given race. So it's
Like in terms of the
exciting.
drivers or like the cars itself.
It's the total finances. I mean, usually Mercedes, the Red Bull, and nowadays for Ferrari this year has been out of their mind. But that's kind of what I mean. It's like literally there's like that's six cars, and that's the six cars everybody expects
Oh
to.
wait, so
One of
all
them
the
is going
cars
to
aren't
win.
like the same, like NASCAR?
No, you have two car teams, and altogether there's 10 teams, so there's 20 cars altogether that race.
Mm.
And what usually happens is that the top three or four teams usually both their cars are in the top 10. So there's so it's as exciting as they make it sound. Like the race after about 15 laps, you already know what two people are going to be fighting for the win.
That's great.
Usually pretty quick, like usually pretty quickly, you know who's going to be the cars that are going to be fighting for the win at the end of it. It's like as cool as it seems, and again, as kind of hyped as the announcer makes it, there are races that I'm like, you can do 10 laps in, and it's like I already know this guy's going to win unless he has a mechanical issue.
That's just great.
Like that's kind of the sad part about the sport a little bit is that sometimes it does get rather monotonous because you kind of know what's coming.
You know,
Now this
I'll
year's
watch
been
though.
a
It's
little bit
okay.
well, but this year has been a little bit different because for the previous couple of years it's been Lewis Hamilton who races for Mercedes
Hmm.
and Max Verstappen, and usually every single race one of those two wins. And this year, neither of them has won a race.
Ooh,
Verstappen's lost two cars to mechanical failure,
oh, that's
and
fun.
the Ferraris this year have actually raced really well. So, and Hamilton, who's like an 8 or 9 time champion, is I don't think he's finished higher than fifth in any of the races. So, people are saying, did he stay on one season too long, and so on and so forth. But I mean, F1's like I said, F1 has some entertainment value to
The
it.
great thing is when you have literally zero idea of what's going on, then it's all good.
Well, and the other thing too is F1 is so nuts because they race across the world.
Mm,
Like there's racetracks in Europe, there's racetracks in Asia, there's racetracks in the Middle East, Australia, North America, so and South America.
that's
Like
pretty
they
cool.
literally race the world. It's not like NASCAR where it's only in the States. Like this is like
Ooh.
they race in Bahrain, they race in Saudi Arabia, they race in Italy, they race in Spain, they race in Belgium,
Oh
they
yeah, I
race
saw
in
the Saudi
Germany.
Arabia, or at least around kind of fight island where the UFC fights at.
Mm-hmm.
In Abu Dhabi, there's a F1 track that goes through a hotel.
Yep.
It's kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah. And then some of the tracks, like there's one that's raced in Monaco, or you're literally racing in the streets of
Oh,
Monaco.
that's a super famous one. I've heard that race
Yep.
before.
Well, if I remember correctly, there's a day of racing that's one of the craziest auto sport racing days of all. You have usually F1 is at Monaco, then you have the Indy 500, and then usually NASCAR is racing the Coke 600,
Hmm,
which is the longest race of that they have every year. And
gotcha.
usually all three of those races are the same day.
Well, the Monaco one, that was an Iron Man 2. That's probably why I know
Mm-hmm.
it.
But yeah, that's one of the tightest tracks out of all because you probably only have two car links max
Oh,
across the entire course. So
there you go.
passing only happens in a certain few sections of the track. The
Mm.
rest of the time, you're just basically sitting behind a person and waiting till you can get to that passing zones.
Hmm.
And you actually there's an under building tunnel there in Monaco that you go through. You also race near the bay. So
That's cool. That's a cool track.
yep. Fremantle's starting to impose their will on this game.
Harry Himmelberg kicked one.
You're up 94-15. You're getting a nice little percentage booster, even though you're
Right. You never know, Donnie. You might need it. uh,
makes you
this is exactly
hey
what I said
hey
was going to
it
happen.
puts you
Leon Cameron's going.
it
They're going to rattle off a few wins. Leon Cameron's going to save his job.
potentially that's what happened last year.
Oh,
That's good.
you know what? That might be ball game. With the way things are playing, that might be ball game right there.
Yeah, Geelong's got to get the next one for sure because it's 23 now, so it's basically a 4 goal game.
Well, you and I, especially friends of the show, there's going to be a lot of Docker fans happy about this one if
Uh-huh,
it holds.
definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Let me not jinx them, because then they'll hate me.
Yeah, we right down the field for a shot on goal already.
What my statement was not a jinx. That is not my fault. Blame Frio.
The winner, they won the tap. 2 kicks later, the shot on goal inside 40 meters.
I said if we all
25,
know
maybe
the
30
rules of the
max.
universe, if statements are not jinxes. They have to be definite statements.
I mean, there's still plenty of time. I mean, there's still over 60 minutes left, so that's
Damn,
through.
Tex kicked it short.
That don't happen very often.
No, but also he was about 10 meters outside 50. He's about 60 meters out, so that's a big kick even for Tex. It's funny though, with all the Frio fans I've talked with, they could be 15-1 in a few in the number in a handful more rounds, and they still wouldn't feel comfortable saying that they're flat contenders.
Well, unfortunately, it's one of those fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice, shame on you.
I
It's
don't
like
blame them. Like I understand. I just think that sucks to have to be in that situation.
oh, this is a huge about the next 5 to 10 minutes are huge for Geelong because they cannot let Fremantle score again.
You know what? I think these next 16 minutes, 25 seconds is going to determine the game right here, Donnie.
There's the understatement of the century.
It's my
Yeah,
talent.
but he's a right footer though, which increases the difficulty from from the left-sided pocket. If it was a left footer, it'd be if it
You
was
think he
a
tries to
if he
kick
was
this
a
one across, kind of near the goal box?
he's not that confident with the left unless he thinks he could drop punt it and it's a severe angle, so a drop punt's got to be darn near gun barrel perfect. But he's gonna drop punt it, and he was skinny. That's the risk that you take
Yeah,
if you do drop punt it. Is it if it's not perfect, it goes skinny.
that's a tough one. But I guess with the amount of goal opportunities that Geelong's had in this one, you probably have to just try to send it on the kick like that, huh?
Well, the only thing that helps him is that it increases the pressure. Like the only thing that's good about kicking a behind is that you can set yourself up defensively to get the pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, thankfully for Frio's sake, thankfully they got it outside the 50, so it kind of relieves some of that pressure
Yep.
right back out again. But the question is how quickly can they get it back inside the 50? If they win this next ruck tap and go right back in, you don't get a lot of reprieve. Where it's like if this thing settles in the midfield or goes down to Geelong's defensive 50, then that'll be insufficient attempt. Yep.
Mm.
It's one of those a skill error gets paid for deliberate, though it's not really deliberate, it's a skill error.
Mm.
But you understand it's like you're trying to teach these guys not to kick it anywhere near the boundary.
Wow.
That's a tough mark
Oh,
by
oh
Stengel there.
no. We got a player down for Adelaide.
That actually might work. And for one, Geelong starting to press now. Now it's down to 15. Yeah, next goal is huge. You get it down to single digits. Good kick. Swing it. Ooh, that'd have hurt. Somehow that worked. Blitzov saved his own butt.
Dude, Brody Smith just went down hard. I think they're going to call that mark. He got a pretty good mark, but he just
That's the
banged the
most
side of his head.
unimpressive mark I've ever seen in this Geelong game. It's like Stanley didn't think he had anything close to getting to it. He
Oh,
gets it.
not Donnie. That one did not look good. Mm.
And down to single digits over
You
here.
should you should see what just happened with Brody Smith. He probably fell about 6 feet and hit the side of his head on the ground.
Oh boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Was he
That
out?
he's moving, but
That doesn't
that's
tell me much. The question is, was he out?
I don't think so. It looked like he stayed conscious the whole time, but man, that's a concussion. Mm.
Turned into high. One thing I haven't done this entire time is checked on seeing how my fantasy team's doing.
Oh yeah, I just don't look.
Actually, mine isn't doing too bad.
I didn't have much hope. I found my top three guy.
My top guy went out with Brody Grundy getting hurt, so I really don't want to hear it.
No, I mean I'm playing top three guy in the league.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're playing Brad.
yeah, that's right. Brad's pretty good at what he does.
Well, he drafted well. The issue he runs into is he's running low on bench places, but he might get a reprieve if Dusty Martin comes back
Mm. So
because
maybe next week.
Salem's still out for a couple weeks. Neil Bullen's not playing, so he's lost a guy from his starting lineup. But what doesn't help is he has Jaden Short and Nick Vlauston from Richmond, and both those guys put up over 100 yesterday.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's got 473 with 6 players played. You have 266 with 5 players played.
There's hope.
But his captain hasn't played, and that's Patrick Cripps. And he's got Lockie Neal and Clayton Oliver. That's
Mm.
his midfield is ridiculous.
There is no hope. Hope is
Like
lost.
the heck he got
How
all
did
of
we
these
let him
guys.
do that, Donnie?
It's the way the draft went.
Man.
Oh crud. I might have an issue here.
Get your space. Damn it, Bobby. Gotta get that one. Oh. And that's why you got a defender in the box right there. There's been a lot of loose balls in this game, is what it feels like. Some sloppy handballing.
Okay, so my other headphones now work. I don't know why all of a sudden they work, but they work,
All right, sure.
which is good
Don't
because
question
I w-
technology.
I wouldn't have been able to hear you if not for so maybe the only thing the reason that they weren't registering is because of the wireless headphones. All of a sudden they went do, 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 and then I looked down at my
Oh.
phone and my phone says 0% of the headphone. I'm like,
Oh
crap.
man. Oh,
Like that's the worst possible moment is when
love
you
that. The
realize
crowd
you're
just
like,
went
oh,
crazy because Tex finally got his hands on the football. He's not. They're not even on their offensive side of the field, but he just got the ball.
it's a
Going.
relieving. Well, for that, it's a relieving mark. It's a mark that relieves
It
pressure.
was on the throw in.
Yeah, that's always great. They've scored 15 points in
And
two and a
now the
half
Giants just
quarters.
got the ball back off an intercept mark. I'm having a good time. I've noticed they don't really do high numbers in the AFL, like jersey numbers.
Mm, they do. They just don't prefer. They do. They just don't prefer it because the one thing that they don't do is they don't retire jerseys like the states do.
Gotcha.
Like if you look at so many sports where it's like you've got so many like
The
5 or 6
Yankees,
jerseys that have been retired.
the Yankees with
Exactly.
like 10 of them. Uh, I think the Broncos only have 3 retired, 4 retired. No,
Yeah.
3.
The AFL doesn't have re- retired Guernseys. They just Guernseys that maybe people don't wear, and then then if you want to wear that jersey, you request the club
Mm-hmm.
or the legend if the legend is still alive. That you just request if you can
Mm-hmm.
use it. Like that's
That's what
what
Peyton Manning
happened.
did. So the Broncos' first quarterback, Frank Tarkton, number 18. So when the Broncos or when Peyton Manning got traded to the signed with the Broncos in free agency, he had to. Frank was dead, so he asked his family. They're the ones who gave him permission,
Mm-hmm.
which they were gonna give him permission, but it's a formality and it's the gesture of reaching out.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. I know with the Swans that happened is that Adam Goods for the longest time, 37, was almost basically retired.
Mm.
But a young indigenous player
Goose got
decided
spoiled.
made the request if he could wear 37, and they brought it back. Now all of
That's
a
nice.
sudden people are wearing it now. So it just shows you the difference.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of cool how some sports handle it differently. The Broncos.
It's like after what it's like. Think about this. Like the Montreal Canadiens have retired like every number um smaller than like 20.
Yeah,
Like
right.
eventually they're gonna run out of numbers.
Hey, as
Like
long as
that's
you have what,
unless
like
unless you start doing
25
triple digits,
numbers?
which is gonna be really weird.
Wait, what's a hockey roster like? 25?
25 that are on the field, yeah. Or 20, 22.
22?
Eight. Yep.
That you just need 22 numbers, Donnie.
Well, I mean, NHL is famous for their 99, 97, 96, 95.
Oh, look at that. Tex finally kicked one and it's from about 3 meters out. Ugh. The most un-Tex Walker goal ever. And they're going nuts. I love it.
Oh, hi.
Oh, that's awesome.
Geelong is there. They get it to the middle of the field and then something gets stuffed. That's holding. So that'll be a free kick downfield. Yeah, that's not good. 7 minutes left and your full forward doesn't have anything. That's not good.
Ooh, what? Hmm. Feel like that could come off the boot a little bit better.
Wow. Make the tackle, Mitch. Don't just bowl it. Don't just run into him.
That is the tackle, Donnie.
That's the NFL tackle. It ain't a tackle in Aussie rules.
That the
I
NFL
run
way
into
is
you.
just shoulder, no arms.
I run into you. You fall over. That's the way a tackle is. No, it's not. That's called the hip and shoulder.
What do you mean? That's the rule. If I hit you, you just have to fall down.
Yep. And then I get the football. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Jeez.
You
This
know
could
what?
be the game. This could be the game. This will be the game winner here for Fremantle.
Well, we thought this had the potential to be game of the round. Hopefully, Sydney and Brisbane prove us right on the take that that's really going to be the game of the round.
Oh, that's massive there. Now back up to a three. Now back up to a 3 goal margin,
They
and only
cannot let us down,
5:35
Donnie.
left.
Your Swannies cannot let us down.
Well, the way this round is starting off right now, it may happen.
Yeah,
considering right now if both these results stay the way they're going to go, we'll be 1-3 after 3 games.
yeah,
Because we all got Richmond right,
yeah.
but everybody picked this one to be Geelong, and everybody picked Adelaide over GWS.
Yep.
So
You know what? That's a 1 and 2. I'm okay being because that means GWS won.
mm-hmm.
So it's makes it a little bit easier. But on your other hand, you're just 1-2 with nothing good coming from it.
Nah, actually, I think there's still some. I think there's. Oh, geez, Tommy Stewart. Seriously?
Oh, it's a pretty good mark.
No, it's
Well,
his kick is horrible. It's a turnover.
I mean, intercept mark. Sorry.
And then Mitch Duncan with a
Oh,
fresh airy trying to spoil it.
I love some of the ways this game is played. How you pass the ball? You see, you take the ball, and you punch it. You punch it real hard. How you
And that's what
how
I
you
tell.
play
That's what I tell a lot
defense?
of people.
How
I said
you,
this thing has volleyball like categories and volleyball like characteristics at
also, how
times.
else do you play defense sometimes? Oh, you see, when they kick the ball, you run up to it and then you punch it.
Hmm.
How you get your point across? Well, you see that player you don't like, you go up and punch it. That's what happened with what Frio's Brayward, right? Didn't he like get his jaw broken a couple years ago?
All right, I'm not running off the top of my head.
I remember that being something. Brayshaw, sorry. Yeah, 2018. Um, West Coast Andrew Gaff punched Frio's Brayshaw in the face, breaking his jaw and caving in the teenager's teeth.
Yep. And Gaff is like one of the nicest guys ever.
And then yeah, right. And Brayshaw forgave him, or he like says said his thing afterward. That was it. Did look pretty.
Yep.
I forgot what caused it.
Basically Brayshaw annoyed the crap out of Gaff the entire game. Just just playing tough physical defense, bumping him when he could,
Hmm.
throwing a hip and shoulder into him when he could, just literally being the most annoying person ever.
I love that.
And Gaff finally just had enough one time. Brayshaw, I don't know if Brayshaw bumped him or what, but literally you see Gaff go, mother, and he just turns and just one solid left hook right to the face.
Oh yeah, he
And
did
Brayshaw
not
goes
think
down.
about that one at all. That was just kind
No,
of
he
a
didn't. Like later when Gaff apologized, he basically said he just he never has done that ever and never
yeah.
been suspended. And he just, like I said, he just hauled off and cracked him. And the problem is Brayshaw wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, so when
So
your jaw's
Brayshaw,
down, it that's what happens for that's what I learned. So in fighting and stuff like that, if you're going like obviously it seems like a
Cat's
oh,
just got a
okay.
lifeline,
Okay.
down to 9 again.
Two more. Okay. But it seems fairly obvious like if you get punched, it's better to have your mouth closed than it is to be than it is to have your jaw hanging there. But the difference it makes is way more than I thought it would be. Like
Mm-hmm.
I got punched with my jaw down. It definitely like the shake hurts, but like if you bite down your mouthpiece, you can absorb it like 10 times as easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty fun. Getting punched in the face is fun.
Getting punched in the face is probably not fun. I don't know if that particular word would be attached to that particular activity,
I
but
think I'm just stupid for accepting a fight. It's gonna be a good time. I get
yeah,
stripped
there's
down
still,
half naked with 4 ounce gloves. Try to hit someone.
yeah, and then a shit handball.
Story of the game. I'd be impressed if these handballs had a 50.
Holy crap! He just made Schultz
Oh,
fall on his face.
damn. Got him again. Frio's off the ground. All right, 94-22 going to the fourth quarter. I like this.
And they'll call high because that's what he does.
Mm.
This is huge. The problem is everybody jumped for it and nobody sat down for the crumbs. That'll be a throw in. Nope.
Nice little stiff arm there.
Don't argue.
Oh,
That's not good.
oh no. Geelong's might lose this game and lose a couple people. Damn. That's a ruck too, huh? PCL.
No, that looked like an ankle.
Ugh.
132 left, 9-point game. If you're Geelong, you need a goal here quickly. And he didn't.
Mm.
I think Fremantle's going to survive this.
If they just,
Nice mark.
it's one of those times where you just try to get your, I mean, do it somewhat safely, but try to just bomb the ball out of the 50. Then you take your time on the mark like this, huh?
Yeah, well, you use your 10 seconds as much as possible and then bomb it down the line.
Yep.
But just make sure it stays in play, though, which he
Don't get it
didn't.
down the middle.
He didn't. He put it out on the
Oh,
full. You can't do that in that situation. You got to at least make sure it stays down the line
that is brutal.
to where the worst possible because now they can switch.
Lucky for them, they're up by 2 goals.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's good. 30 seconds left at 30, 28. Why is the clock
Oh
still
man,
ticking? 26 seconds left and it's a 3-point game.
3 extra seconds it ticked off right there.
Exactly.
Huh? They gonna put the time back on the clock, or do they not do
No,
that?
they don't. They just yeah, here's the interesting thing about that though is that Reece Stanley's hurt. So his Blitzon's going to go into the ruck. Now this is a massive goal kicked here
What do
for
you do here off the bounce, Donnie?
you you do everything you got to hope you win, but the biggest thing is you don't want to give anything up.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing is if Fremantle gets the win out of the ruck tap, they bomb it into 50 games over. There's no way you're going to be able to get it downfield. You got to win this ruck tap.
I took a bit of a Frio bounce. Oh,
Yep, Fremantle's probably going to do just enough to survive this. That's game
there we
because it
go.
doesn't matter what happens, even if this rolls out of play. That's game. Fremantle will survive. Wow.
Wow, what a win for Frio. That is
Mm-hmm.
a huge win. Might not have been the best performance, but that's still a quality win over a quality team. That's good stuff. That is really good stuff right there.
Well, here's the thing though. It also depends on who you talk to because this could also if you wanted to be the pessimist, you could say that this is a Geelong team that maybe isn't as good as people think they are.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but
I don't
I
agree.
think
I don't subscribe to that.
no.
I think this is a good Geelong team that I think is going to make finals. I just think Frio just played a better game in the long run.
Yeah, no. Geelong's. I'm not going to call Geelong a bad team from anything I've seen from them. That'd be dumb. Tex going for his second from about 40. And that's a behind. You know what? What do you say, Donnie? Got a quarter in ya? Or you need to go to sleep?
What the hell?
Well, let me get
Even
this.
not that I really want to not that I really want to watch this
No, we can.
cluster. You know what that is the end of the late game. Oh boy,
I guess we could watch something happen.
we could watch the ending of
Oh,
the
Tex made
dying.
it. Okay. There you go. And goes from behind the goal. Go for him. That's two. We'll give it to the 15-minute marks and see what happens.
Dude, this game's over. This is basically now is can Adelaide at least crawl back some percentage before the end of the game?
I don't know. They still got a chance. All right. Final opinion. Final opinion question I'm gonna ask you. Socks up or down?
Oh, when I played my socks were up, but
Nice.
that was just the way I played. So
I love it. I love it. Well, you see some of the best goal kickers in the game, and Tex and Buddy, they socks up. So apparently there's something to it.
yeah.
That's what I like to do in baseball as a kid, and I always had the pants rolled up. See, what's the point of buying those socks if no one's going to see them? Oh, Adelaide's coming back. Unbelievable.
As good as that is, I don't think they have that much of a comeback in them.
Wouldn't be surprised if we get a finals rematch there. All right, come on, Jesse, get your third. Get your third. You got this in you. I believe in you. Jesse. Get number three. What's with that stutter step?
That's good.
There we go. The little stutter step he was doing was weird. Had me worried for a second. And there's the triple digits. Think that's ball game?
Dude, it's been ball game since like halftime.
You know me. I don't trust this team. Final thoughts on the Frio Geelong game though. What's your main takeaway?
Hard to argue. Fremantle hasn't stabled themselves in as a legit finals team, and I mean,
Are they
you
are they
you go down and you
in
go down and you beat
Melbourne's
it.
tier yet?
Melbourne right now is in a tier by themselves, and it's hard to argue that they aren't, but they're
Mm,
definitely Fremantle has stapled themselves in that tier that everybody said that Brisbane and Sydney were in kind of by themselves.
mm-hmm.
I think Frio's in that same tier. I think Geelong, unfortunately, might have just put themselves out of that tier.
Mm.
So, like,
A, B,
That,
C, C tier. Melbourne being A. Where would you put Geelong and Freo?
right now, I'd probably have Fremantle in the B tier with Brisbane and Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
The Western Bulldogs, if they're fully healthy and clicking, which they're not.
Yeah.
But I would probably say your C tier would be your Geelongs, your St. Kildas, your um Carltons.
Carlton.
So and then
Hawthorn. Hawthorn? It's C?
Hawthorne, I think it'd be down in D because you just don't
Mm,
know. Again, I kind of want to see how they approach it.
of
There's like I
course.
said, there's still a lot of footy still to be played. So I don't want to don't like just diving into it like that. But it is kind of one of those where I look at it and go, it's you have a very clear kind of delineation on where your tiers are,
Mm-hmm.
at least right now. So
That'd be a fun one. Well, it is 1:30 in the morning for you. It is a
mm,
very manageable 12:30 for me. And I think it might be time for us to wrap up this stream. After Toby Green kicks another.
he says he wants to go for it. Are they going to let him? Yep,
Uh,
they're going to let him.
yeah. Come on. Let's end this stream with a Toby. Toby number 5. Toby number 5. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, I got to tell you this. I know you liked it, but I got to tell you probably haven't seen the response yet. One of my Frio Dockers fans, I put, wow, congrats at Frio Dockers, a hard fought win on the road. I agree, Frio is legit. Lee, who's in our
Yep.
who's in our thing, says thanks, Donnie. I have no
Oh.
idea how I will sleep now. His response.
uh,
Uh,
I think Toby's 4-4 right now.
I know that feeling before. There's been a few Sydney games where they win it late, and it's like you try to go to bed, and you're just your whole
Your blood's
your
pumping too much.
well, it's a combination of you're super excited because your team won, but you're also just like you're frazzled because
Yep.
it's so close.
Don't worry. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. So
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah,
Well, I do
unfortunately, I think
appreciate the
this this
handful of you
this
guys.
one this one is over. Unfortunately, I think it's been over since halftime.
I think it's pretty fortunate that's over.
Yep.
I appreciate that handful of you guys that stopped by. You guys truly mean everything. And if you're just watching the replay on YouTube, because I'm probably going to post it there, because might as well get a few extra views, because I can. Thank you for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Your guys' support means the world. And if you're a Frio fan, congrats. If you're a Geelong fan, maybe next time. And if you're an Adelaide fan, still probably better than being a GWS fan most of the time. Have a good night, you guys. Or a good morning. Or a good sleep. Whatever the hell time zone you're in. Footy is a hell of a sport.